It is February 15th, day 27 of Trump's second presidency. And something about ticking off the days is reminding me of Tom Hanks in Castaway. And I do feel like it's just a matter of time before I am talking to inanimate objects covered in blood. Just saying. The IRS is laying off thousands of workers as we speak, which makes perfect sense because it's tax season. I'm sure we don't need those people anyways. In all seriousness, there's a very real possibility of delays in your taxes. I did my taxes literally the second I possibly could. I've already gotten my return. I highly recommend that you file like e-file and have them do direct deposit. I think that's your best bet as far as getting a return back with any like quickness whatsoever. But also, like, I filed and got my return back before. What are we going to call them? I think that the Daily Show is calling them Doge bags. I like that. Before Elon's Doge bags went into the IRS and started firing everyone. So you might be screwed if you haven't filed yet. But I would do it literally as quickly as you possibly can, unless you owe money, in which case don't bother, because I don't even know if they're going to notice. Things are not well over there, and obviously we'll be talking about that. The Justice Department just fired without notice or explanation 20 immigration judges. So we have an immigration department in this country, and it is currently backlogged with 3.7 million immigration cases. So obviously they need all the help they can get, but I think this just signals what we all know, which is they don't want anyone immigrating here anymore, except unless they're white, which ironically, the very next story is about the South Africans, the white South Africans. Remember, I think I told you this last week, maybe. So Trump is saying he wants to migrate the white South Africans here to the United States. Again, they're trying to make this an all-white country. They want to get rid of, or they want to institutionalize or enslave anyone who isn't white, and also some white people. But in particular, anyone who's not white. They're definitely aiming to drive them out in various ways. The white South Africans are protesting right now in support of Trump and saying that he's right and that they're victims of racism. I'll be honest, I know very little about what's going on in South Africa, but I think we all know the story. We know why they're there. We also know the story of the United States and how all this happened. I think in general, you can expect reality to get inverted. That's what happens with a narcissist, because narcissists are huge crybabies. Like, they are the only victims in the world. No one else. They can never be held accountable. They have never done anything wrong. And so they will abuse you and say it's your fault. And that's exactly what's happening across the board right now. And it's leaving a lot of people scrambling, right? But I mean, I think the odds of them bringing some of those South Africans here, if the South Africans are saying that they're on board with it, it's very high, which could be interesting. Zelensky is calling for Europe to create essentially like a armed force to kind of replace the support that he had previously through the United States, which it's very clear. I mean, he's very smart. It's over. Like, whatever he was getting from the United States as far as support is concerned, it's over. And so he wants Europe to strengthen itself. And actually, European leaders are holding an emergency meeting about all of this in the next coming days. I think they're also realizing that they've lost not only an ally, but like NATO is now very weak and questionable whether the organization is going to continue in its current iteration or whether the United States is even going to be a part of NATO. I mean, Trump has talked a lot about leaving NATO, and I know that his boyfriend Elon definitely wants that. So which, by the way, y'all should go look up the weird joint interview that Musk and Trump just did with Fox. And I just am like so curious how JD Vance feels about all this. It's like a really uncomfortable three-way. Like JD Vance is basically getting left out of their relationship completely. It's just so bizarre. It's such a bizarre situation. It's so unprecedented in American history. And yet there's still people out there that don't understand how scary this is or why. And I guess, you can't make everyone pay attention or read or know anything about history or know anything about the Constitution. You can't make people do that. So it is what it is. I will just say, I will just say that like a lot more people are now coming out and calling a spade and saying like, yes, we are in a constitutional crisis. Yes, this is an emergency. Yes, all of these things that Elon Musk are doing, they're all illegal. And they are not complying with court orders, or they're like really dragging it out. So I think we're going to know this week for sure if they're officially, they have a 5-day or, I think now 3 days left to unfreeze the funding for USAID. So if they don't do it, then I think we can officially say, yes, we are in a constitutional crisis and like what is going to be done about this. In any case, yes, Europe is panicking, as they should. They do need to protect themselves. And, Vance has made it very clear that he is anti-Europe. And Europe is anti-Trump and Vance. So we're whatever the United States was before, those days are behind us. And we'll see what happens in the future. But those days are behind us. Hamas and Israel did end up going through with an exchange of some more of the hostages today. There is only 2 weeks left in the ceasefire. That's really scary. And I think more than likely, based on the plans that Netanyahu and Trump have laid out, they're going to do some scary things to take over the land there. And, Trump is not backing down about wanting to move Palestinians out of there, no matter what Egypt is saying or Jordan is saying or all these other countries. Like, he is not somebody that listens to reason. So, it's going to be a very sketchy period of time in the Middle East as well. In fact, there's no stable area of the world right now, to be honest with you. I'm sure that there are some countries that are like not in the middle of this, but for the United States, as far as like allyship goes, we don't have stable allies anymore. Trump just destroyed all of our relationships in like under a month, which is almost impressive. It's only day 27. It has not been a full 30 days yet, and he has destroyed American leadership in the world. Pope Francis was hospitalized with a respiratory infection. I read something about him having some sort of serious illness as a child that left him with very limited lung capacity. Like he almost basically only has one lung. So his health is deteriorating. And I want to say he's 89. I think what I'm telling you is we're probably going to have a new pope soon. I don't think he has a super long time left. He's super weak. He stuck around long enough to tell JD Vance that he's not a real Christian. So thank you for that, Mr. Pope. The German chancellor is slamming JD Vance's suggestion that Germany should be inclusive of far-right parties. I mean, you're not gonna gaslight Germany into having another World War II. I'm sorry. They know their shit. They know what including far-right ideology in society does to society. You can't. That's like saying you have to give equal rights and equal consideration to the feelings of violent abusers. No, you don't. No, you don't. And this is where a lot of people get tripped up in their own personal lives as well. You must match energy with energy. You must match the same. You have to come back with the same energy. And I think a lot of people are very uncomfortable with that. It's the only thing that works. You cannot allow violent extremists to become part of the center of your society, or they will do what they're doing right now. This is what happens. The society gets torn apart, and then their violence becomes the ideology of that country. So, like, we very well may end up like Iran or North Korea. Like, I don't know what's in America's future, but, you know, we had the cautionary tale in Germany. We've watched what's happened in other places. We've watched what's happening in Hungary. In places where men like that are allowed to be in charge, things deteriorate very rapidly. And that's what's happening here. So I'm proud of Germany for slapping back and saying, absolutely not. Like, they know, they can see exactly what's happening here. And so can the rest of the world. I mean, they're all talking about it. It's in the headlines of every publication worldwide, what's happening here. And they're all horrified. So the next agencies on Trump's list for dismantling are the Climate Agency and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They're literally two of the most data-driven scientific organizations in our country. But we know that the cover story that the Republicans are putting out there is that climate change isn't real. Do a lot of them actually believe that? Probably not. They don't care. I actually think that they know what's coming and that they know that we're headed into a series of climate emergencies, and they want to get out of organizations like FEMA as quickly as possible so that they're not paying. They just want our money. They want our money, they want the power, and they're assuming that a lot of people will die. And that's true. Unfortunately, it is the truth. Like, we won't have FEMA funds to help people when they lose their homes. Or possibly even, if without the Consumer Protection Bureau, I don't know what recourse there is if insurance just decides to not pay out. Nothing. There's nothing we can do. It's going to be really tough when they start taking climate protections away and they start rolling all this stuff back. Yeah. The only hope is that, again, if they break things quickly enough and enough people wake up quickly and enough people start losing their homes, like there's already people in Alabama furious. Can't remember if I already talked about this. So Alabama had a bunch of subsidies for their electric bills for some reason. I know, like, the red states in general are the ones that are most heavily in need of the resources that are coming from the government in terms of like subsidies and things like SNAP food programs and Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security and disability. Those are mostly going to red states. So anyways, people in Alabama are freaking out because their bills, their electric bills just went up an average of $100 to $200 a month because Trump's not giving them anything anymore. And they're all like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, this is what you voted for, baby. So, maybe people will get pissed off enough about that. I don't know, because a lot of them are like, well, this is for the best. So I just don't know. I don't know if there's any way out of this. So RFK is going to start targeting antidepressants and weight loss drugs. He claims that they cause violence. There's no evidence of anything he's saying. We have no data to support anything he's saying. I will say, like, he talks about them being overprescribed. That's probably true. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think that there is more that people could do before they try a medication, but sometimes it's an emergency. So removing people's ability to access these things is incredibly dangerous. It's going to cause suicide, murder, violence, crime, and just death in general. He's like also like him targeting the weight loss drugs, and I'm speaking specifically about drugs like Ozempic. Those drugs are also used for conditions like diabetes. Yeah. It's going to be crazy. We're really in for a wild ride. But like he has a plan for like the first 100 days to just go after this stuff, similar to what Trump is doing. So I don't know what that means. Like I don't know how quickly he can get things dismantled, but that's kind of like his first order of business is to attack pharmaceutical, specifically mental wellness pharmaceuticals. It's crazy. Anyways, Elon Musk retweeted. This is so disgusting. I'm going to read the tweet exactly. Watching Trump slash federal programs, knowing it doesn't affect you because you're not a member of the parasite class. So he's calling people who need any type of assistance the parasite class, which is ironic because billionaires are the most notorious parasites on this planet. No one becomes a billionaire without not paying living wages and literally hoarding the vast majority of the profits of their company. There used to be a cap on CEO pay. There should be again. That's when actually, when was America actually great? When could people afford cars and homes and to send their children to school and all of those things? It was when there was a cap on CEO pay and we had normal wages. And ever since, very slowly, the billionaire class that didn't even exist then, the millionaire class at that time, lobbied to remove these regulations on capitalism. And now they've bought our government. Now there is an unelected official sitting in, and it's so demeaning to Trump. It's crazy that he's allowing it, but I'm pretty sure the deal is Elon and Putin keep Trump out of jail by stealing the election. And Trump just sits there and does whatever, twiddles his thumbs while Elon does everything. And that's what it looks like on the surface right now. Because having Elon Musk, again, he's an unelected, he's not a government official, he's unelected. He's just a random dude. Having him sit on these interviews, stand in the Oval Office, wearing like, not even wearing a suit. Like he's so disrespectful to Trump. And then his kid tells Trump to shut the fuck up. The whole thing is so dystopian. Oh man. Okay. So tomorrow I'll bring you some information about, dang it, what is this guy's name? It's someone Musk worships. And it's essentially creating a society where there is mass technological surveillance of everyone in their homes and at all times. And basically it's almost like a king that rules with technology. I'll get more into it tomorrow. I need to read some more about it, but it's dystopian to the max. And it's some dude that Musk worships, and a lot of those other guys too. So does Vance, so does Peter Thiel. These people are really, really sick. In any case, they're going to make a lot of mistakes though too, so they fired a bunch of the staff that oversees all of our nuclear weapons stockpiles. And then they panicked and realized what they had done and that they need those people, and they're trying to rehire them. Honestly, like, I hope those people tell them to get fucked. What they're doing right now is so... There's no empathy in it. Like, they're also creating a huge surge of unemployment. I mean, I would love to see the numbers, the total numbers of people that have lost their jobs in the last 3 weeks. It's got to be astonishing. So what they're going to do to the economy with that, in an economy where there already are not, there's jobs, but they're flipping burgers, baby. They're picking crops because we don't have any immigrants to do it. So I hope these people are prepared to go out there and start picking strawberries, because like that's the jobs that are available. There's not jobs available. It's gonna upend, and actually we're already seeing some ramifications of it now. The next story is about how retail sales have plunged, the biggest plunge in over a year. 1% drop in person buying, 2% drop online retail, and 3% in auto sales. And this is all within the last 3 weeks. And, oh yeah, that's the last story. I think I remember them saying in the article that like finance experts and economy experts are shocked. They weren't expecting this. Even though they were trying to account for somewhat of a drop with people waiting to see what was going to happen with tariffs, etc., this is a bigger drop than they had planned for. And again, I will tell you, this is why I say, where is our power? There is our power. There is our power in not participating. Shut your wallet. Keep your money. Maybe even keep it under your bed. Wish I was joking. I'm not. I do need to figure out. Somebody asked me in a video recently here, like, what is my plan for my money as far as staying in a bank, moving to a credit union? I mean, I think if things really go south, like, I was making a joke to someone yesterday, like, they're gonna like eliminate money and we're gonna be paying with bro coins soon. And I don't think I'm joking. Honestly, like, I think that they are very well aware that they're about to cause potentially a depression. I think they know that. And I think that they may use that to transfer more wealth and power again to themselves by being like, oh, here, everybody gets, yeah, money is worthless now. The dollar is worthless, but here's a bunch of bro coins. You can buy your groceries with bro coins. Like, I don't know. Anyways, I am going out to get sushi with my daughter for my birthday, and we made a banana cream pie, and I'm really excited about that. I would say this. I was talking with one of my best friends about a friend of hers who is very young and passing away of cancer right now. And we are all eventually going to pass away. And we were never guaranteed an easy life. I think that there's something about America that makes us feel entitled to that. Entitled to an easy, soft life. And yes, if you land on an easy, soft life, good for you, man. That's wonderful. But it's rare. I think that the trick is to, through this period of time, try to feel as much gratitude as you possibly can for just like the dumb shit. Literally, I'll be outside and the cold air on my face feels nice, and I'll try to like focus on it more intently than I normally would. If you get to eat a really good meal, really eat it. Be there with it. Mindfulness, but like words like that, I feel like it sort of detracts from the point, right? Like, it's about really being here because we don't know what's going to happen, but we never did. We never did know. If everything in the world was perfect right now, you could still get cancer. I could still get cancer. We are not promised anything. We never were. And I think that capitalism lies to us and tells us that if we work really hard, like everything's going to work out. And capitalism tells you that lie so that you will exchange your years for their profit margins, for their power. And the good thing about all of this is it's bursting that bubble so completely. I do think a lot of people will wake up from it and say, what the fuck have we been doing? If this can all go away in a heartbeat, everything that we work to build financially and all of the progress we've made, if it can all just disappear because of some idiot, then what were we ever doing in the first place? And I think maybe it's time to ask that question anyway. You know, again, with climate change coming, we were going to be staring down the barrel of one gun or another. So why not this one? Maybe it will happen fast enough and hard enough and painfully enough to turn the ship around. And I'm going to hold on to hope in that. I'm going to hold on to hope that there is enough pain for enough people that they will say, stop. Anyways, I love you guys. I hope you have a great Saturday night, and I'll see you tomorrow.